Hello, Practicum students. In this video, we're going to learn about progress reports, what they are, and how to do them. All right, with that, let's jump into the syllabus just to understand the point value for the progress reports. They are a pretty substantial part of your grade, but they should be relatively easy to do, and I'll explain that in just a few moments. But depending on the type of practicum that you have, and there are different varieties of practicum, but as you can see here on the syllabus, and just match up, for the credit hour version and semester of graduation, match that up, and you can see that the progress reports make a big component of the grade. So you definitely want to do them, but hopefully they should only take about 10 to 30 minutes to do them. Remember, they'll be due every 2 weeks. All right, well, let's talk about how to complete the progress report. We'll remove that. So in this section, you'll notice there's a cover page. You will do the cover page. I'll walk you through that very quickly, and you can see that might take all of maybe 5 or 10 minutes to do. On this cover page, I would like your name and the date that you're submitting it. Please circle the semester of graduation, fall or summer. Pretty easy so far, isn't it? Check mark the type of field-based research that you're doing, white paper or the project. I won't talk about those anymore. I probably talked 45 minutes on each one of those. So you should be in one of these two camps here. Just indicate what you're doing there. Number 3, write a 1 or 2 sentence description of what you are working on. That could be the title of what you're working on. Doesn't need to be, like I said, more than 2 sentences. You should be able to encapsulate what you're doing within 1 sentence. And if you need a little extra, you can do 2. That is probably something that's not going to change from progress report to progress report. Hopefully you don't change your topic that much at all once you get started. So that's something that'll be repetitive and pretty easy to do. Number 4, that's a reflection piece. You're going to reflect on how you feel your progress was over the past 2 weeks. Did it go well? Did it not go well? Be honest with yourself. There's no points off on that. Just really take a moment to see if things went as planned, and are you satisfied with your progress? And it's always nice to kind of reflect on that. Number 5, this is the looking forward statement. So really, what do you hope to accomplish in the next cycle, that next 2-week cycle? So a little bit of planning, and if that hopefully makes you pause and think, okay, well, I need to do these next 3 steps, that's fine. Capture that information in there. I'm not gonna, these are aspirational. If you have 3 things that you want to accomplish in the next cycle and you only get 2, that's fine. It's just a way, again, for some reflection and some planning as you're going through what is potentially a pretty large body of work that you're doing. If you remember that if you're doing a white paper, for most of you, that white paper is going to range anywhere from 15 to a maximum of 30 pages, depending on how many hours you've logged in physical practicum. And that's a lot of work. Now, we've talked about what those pages look like. They're not as information dense as a regular research paper, but still, it's a lot of work to do. And you want to make sure that you're kind of moving forward to that final project at the end. So that's kind of what you have there, what you hope to accomplish in the next 2 weeks. The other area, if you're doing a project that, again, you're working very closely with your mentor, and I'm sure you have some goals, maybe even a timeline of things that you want to get done in working with that field-based project. So capture those there. Again, I'm not going to hold you against that if you say that. Again, it's just really for your own planning that is in there. Number 6, what can I help you with? If you're getting any roadblocks or questions, we can capture that. And then number 7, this is probably the one that was conceptually the hardest for folks to grab, but I don't want you to overthink it too terribly much. But let's let's look at number 7. So number 7 is please attach any material you feel is relevant to demonstrate your progress. Examples would include notes, outline, drafts, reference lists, pictures, scans, etc. Please submit all items as a single PDF or a single Word document, underlined, because I don't want a bunch of little individual files uploaded. It just makes it so difficult for me to pop in there and assess your work. And I think I'm going to give you some recommendations on how easy it is to make a single document, especially with PDF. Word, that's pretty easy. You guys should know that, but I'll talk about that in just a second. So these materials, what am I looking for? Well, again, it's up to you. Now, how I'm going to grade you, it's a binary. It's going to be either a 0 or full points. Either you did it or you didn't. I'm not going to critique what you've submitted, just that you've submitted. So they're relatively easy points to get. Now, let's say every 2 weeks you do your cover sheet, you throw in a couple pieces of information in there. Chris gives you the full points. Great. You could do that. But just remember that at the end, that's when, rubber hits the road, when you really have to have that product, that deliverable done. And I trust all of us to, come up, with your own timetable on how to get to that specific due date by the end of either the course or by the end of your practicum experience to have that done. So I'm not going to micromanage all the steps there. You should, if it's in a perfect world, you're going to be showing, sequential achievement towards that final product. Some weeks won't be as good as others, and that's totally okay. But I'm really allowing you to hold yourself to task on this versus me. I'm not going to, micromanage your process for you. We're all adults. Kind of what needs to be done by the end of it, and how you get there is up to you. We, all of us tend to procrastinate. I do it. We all do it. But please be careful, because this, this thing that you're making, white paper or project, is pretty substantial. It's not something you want to do on a weekend. Could you do it in a weekend? You probably could, but it would be a pretty brutal weekend. So save yourself the stress and just try to digest that elephant little bites at a time. Even if it's only a couple of hours, you're able to get every week, and that's 4 hours in there. At least get some progress on this in little digestible bites is my recommendation to you. Okay, so there's how you're going to be graded. I'm going to be just simply looking for I'm going to be looking for that evidence. Again, what you think is relevant. Again, I have a list here, a draft. It could be a handwritten draft. It could be a Microsoft Word document, most likely in draft phase. It could be an outline. They could be research notes. You could have a reference list of articles, journal articles that you found. I don't want to see the articles necessarily, but you could have a reference sheet to show that, look, I've got these 15 articles that was basically with the citation of the article, the reference citation of the article that, that I'm using. That would be perfectly fine. That says, yeah, you're doing some research, you're digging into the topic, you're digging into the literature, of the topic. And if you're using reference management software, it literally takes 10 seconds to produce a bibliography or a reference page. You just click print and it comes out in a PDF format if you wanted to. So that, again, that's really up to you what you want to put, in there to demonstrate, the work that you've done. Now, let's talk about the mechanics, how you do that. So here's my recommendation to you, is that you can do it in a Word document. That might work absolutely fine for you, especially if you're doing the white paper and you're starting off with a draft. That may work absolutely fine. You may have some other items that you need to capture, or you feel like you want to capture to support, as kind of the work that you're doing. My recommendation would be to use your phone. So let's say, for example, I'm doing the white paper and I'm doing it in Word. I could, and there was this, I don't know, maybe a brochure or something that I was looking at, and I wanted to, capture that. That wasn't something digital. Well, I make it digital with my phone, so I could take a picture of it. I could use a scanning app such as Scanner Pro. I really like that one. Or Cam Scanner. A lot of my colleagues and other students love Cam Scanner to turn it into a PDF, and then I could drop that into a Word document and just have one single Word document. So you can digitize some stuff, even a picture. Let's say you were working on, I don't know, let's say you were working on a project, and part of that project was to build a kiosk for literature for patient care or something like that. You could literally take a picture of the kiosk that you're building, and that you're assembling and that you're organizing, or whatever it might be. If you can't capture it digitally through like normal text means, take a picture of it. You can take that picture, you can drop it into a Word document, which you could do so much with that. So that's what I would recommend. If you are using, if PDF is more aligned to what you're doing, again, I would recommend Cam Scanner or Scanner Pro. They literally, you just basically wave your phone over the document. Well, just hold it right there. It takes the picture automatically, converts to PDF. It's pretty awesome. So there's a lot of ways to do that. And they shouldn't be hard at all. I mean, if you think about just assembling all that, your stuff, maybe 10 minutes to assemble it. Oh, okay, I want to submit my draft. I want to submit my reference sheet. I want to submit these handwritten notes. Take a picture of those, put them in, open an extra page on Word doc, drop it in there. Okay, because Chris wants just one Word doc. That would maybe take 10 minutes to do. And the cover page, maybe 10 minutes to do. So easily you could have this assignment done in 30, because I'm not asking you to really produce anything, just report on and kind of show me what you have produced in that particular cycle. All right, guys, that is pretty much it when it comes to the progress reports. Again, I don't want them to be really difficult to do, but hopefully it's a nice way for you to have a check-in, a lot of self-reflection check-in as well. I'm checking in, not micromanaging. If I see something completely, I guess alarming, semester's almost over, you're hardly submitting anything, I may say, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And just to check in with you. But then again, it's not going to reflect on the grade for the progress reports, because you submitted it, so you'll get the full points for it. But my concern, if I do have a concern for you in completing the course successfully, it might, get me to make my spider sense tingle a little bit if I have some concerns that you may not make it in completing, the final requirements for the course. So there you go, guys. Progress reports. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out to me. Thanks.